Hi guys, so my name is Liz. I am an admissions counselor at Vincent University. I did drive a bit of a drive. We are about 3.5 hours down south, but I actually live an hour below Vincent, so about 4 hours for me. So I actually am familiar with the area. As you might see, I actually did go to Grace College, which you might have heard of. But I graduated this past December from college and now started in February as an admissions counselor for Vincent University. So a little bit about Vincent University. I know that presentations can be a little boring, so I'm going to try not to bore you guys a little too much. But Vincent University, we were founded in 1801. So if you guys know when Indiana was founded, we are older than the state of Indiana, which is pretty cool. I am a really big history buff, so I really enjoy that, and I enjoy Vincent's as a general town because it's so old. There's a lot of old buildings, a lot of tours that you can take. But like I said, we were founded in 1801, so we are the oldest college in Indiana, or university, either or. We were named Jefferson Academy, but then in 1806 we changed our name to Vincent University. We are more of a smaller school. Our ratio is about 16:1. If it's a packed class, I think most I've heard of is about 25:1. So it's not horrible. It's nothing that you've not had in college, if that makes sense. So it's a good stepping stone if you're kind of wanting a smaller school. So a little bit about me, and this is why I find this so interesting, is that I am actually, my parents are from Spain. So I really enjoy the fact that we've got a few Spaniards in Vincent University, but we also have students from Italy, from the UK, from China, and this can be because they're coming from an exchange program or because they're coming to play sports for us, right? So we do have, we are represented in about 16 different countries around the world. We are also represented in 43 states here in the U.S. A goal of ours is to be represented in all 50 states, so hopefully that will happen soon. That is our goal for this next year. And then we are represented in all 92 counties of Indiana, so it's really cool, and it kind of makes me happy because I travel all around Indiana, so it just kind of makes me happy to know that we are represented in all 92 counties. So. The thing about Vincent University is that we are kind of more of like a medium-sized college, like I mentioned before, so most of our degrees are 2-year degrees, right? We've got about 193 different 2-year degrees, and then we also have certificates, which are 1-year degrees. Those can be, stacked into an associate's degree. The cool thing about the certificates is that some of them are covered under the Next Level Jobs Grant, which is a grant through the state of Indiana that will pay for the tuition of that first year certificate. So you can stack it into an associate's, come back your second year, and only pay for that one second year, and live with your 2-year degree. So I think that's a pretty cool option. And then we do have 4-year bachelor's programs. So if you're wanting your 4-year degree within these 4 areas, we don't have as many of these if you look in your trifold because we mostly do the 2-year associates, but we do have 4-year bachelors. We have about 24, 25 different ones. So yeah, that's kind of a bit about what we do have to offer. If you are wanting to study something like, architecture is a popular one. We offer the 2-year degree for architecture, but you normally need a 4-year degree to work in an architecture business or anything that would have to do with architecture. So what most of our students do is they come to us for 2 years and then they transfer to a different university like Ball State. The reason that they do this and don't just go to Ball State for the full 4 years is because we have the lowest tuition rate in the state of Indiana for a residential college, which means that we have dorms on campus. So it kind of helps them save money for the first 2 years, and they transfer and only pay the last 2 years of tuition for that other university that they decide to go to, which mostly ends up being Ball State because they have a really good architecture program. But that can be any type of program that we do not have the full year ones. We have amazing transfer specialists that will kind of keep that in mind and set up your classes so that you are able to transition seamlessly. Another good thing about it is that we start you off with your actual specialized classes your first year, whereas at bigger universities, you might not do that until maybe like your sophomore, junior year. And that's just because they want the students who are about to graduate to take those classes, whereas the incoming freshmen, they want you to get your generals out of the way before you start those classes. But not as you kind of do a blend, you do a few of your general classes as well as some of your specialized classes as well. So, oh, if you guys have any questions, feel free to interrupt me. I don't know if you guys would have any questions, but go for it. So this is kind of our pathway to apply. There's 2 ways to apply. You can apply through our website, or you can apply through the Common App. You guys might have heard of the Common App before, if you're looking at different colleges. The Common App, you do have to use it to apply to like Purdue, for example. But it's more of like a master application. You're applying to multiple different colleges at the same time. So that's what I would recommend for you if you are not sure that you're wanting to go to Vincent University or go to a specific school. You can apply to multiple at the same time. If you decide that you're wanting to go to college and you decide you want to go to VU, maybe the website might be better for you because it's a lot shorter. So it just kind of depends on what you're wanting to do. Once you apply, you're going to send us your transcript. It does not have to be, like, it's okay if you haven't graduated yet and all your grades are in there. You're just going to send us what you do have. After you do graduate and you walk the stage, we're going to need the final high school transcript. The only thing we look for at that point in time is the date of graduation. So as long as you have the day you graduated, then you're good to go. If you have a GED or you're getting your GED by any chance, anything like that, we take that as well. And if you have any dual credit classes, we also ask that you send us over those transcripts so that you're not taking classes 2 times that you've already taken in high school. The thing about dual credit classes is that they're considered college credit, right? So college transcripts cannot come from you guys. They have to be college to college, or they're not considered official and we won't take them. So you might have heard of parchment, maybe? That's usually what you use to send over your transcripts so that they're not from you guys. So we normally recommend that you kind of wait until all of your grades are finalized so that you're able to send that over to us, because I think it's $5 for every single time you send us a transcript. So you only want to spend those $5 once. If you don't have any dual credit classes, that's completely fine. If you do, and you're taking them through Vincent University, because we do a lot of dual credit classes, then that's fine. It's already in our system, so you don't need to do anything. But if you're taking them through like Ivy Tech or IU, something like that, then you do want to send us over those transcripts. Then after you send that in, normally at around like here, you would get accepted. So you would head on over to registration. But I do want to jump back to the FAFSA because that is very important. So to graduate high school now, you do have to fill out the FAFSA. It is a requirement. So it opens up October 1st. This year it did open up early, so that was pretty good because my junior year of college, I believe, yes. My junior year of college, they switched it up. So it was like a completely new application and all of us were freaked out because we didn't know why it wasn't opening October 1st. It didn't open up until like January that year. And so this is the first year that it actually opens up early because the last 2 years we're opening up like November, December. So the deadline is April 15th. I recommend that you fill it out sooner than that because the earlier you apply, the more financial aid that you qualify for you will get. But that is a deadline if you guys do need one. I'm a procrastinator and I just really don't recommend that you procrastinate on this though. But I believe you are going to have a workshop here soon.
Yeah, next Wednesday, November the 12th. There's going to be here, someone will be here at night.
So you will be doing that there. When you're filling that out, you guys should be getting all the help you need, but if you do ever need help, you can call our financial aid office. Even if you decide you're not going to Vincent University, they are there to help you. But yeah, whenever you're filling it out, just add Vincent University or any college. Like you can add colleges, any college that you think you might want to go to, because it's a bit of a hassle if you don't add it and then you completely switch on what school you're wanting to go to and you never sent your FAFSA to that school. Then it's a bit of a hassle to go back and change it because you can't change it. You have to ask the school to change it for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. Even if you're like, oh, I'm not going to go there, add a school, any school that you might want to go to. Then after you fill that out, we're going to head over to registration. We're going to take into consideration your GPA, any type of diploma you have, honors, technical, normal diploma, college credit, SAT scores, ACT scores, any of that. It's okay if you don't have those scores. You don't have to have them to apply, but we will take that into consideration to see if you do need to take a VU Acuplacer test. The VU Acuplacer test is a placement test. It'll tell us which general classes to put you in, so like your English and math classes. That is if we do not see where to put you in from what you're submitting to us when you apply. If we do see that from what you are turning into us, then you do not need to take it. But if you do need to take it, it's very short, less than an hour. It goes over reading, writing, and math. And then once that is done, you register for classes and you're good to go. And that is the end of the process. If you don't need to take it, you automatically register for classes. So. Next, the thing that differentiates us a bit from Ivy Tech is that we actually have a campus life. We have a really good campus life. I really enjoy seeing our student workers talk about how much they like it. So intramural sports is like the biggest thing that we have on campus going on right now. Usually it's kind of the biggest thing because we are a very competitive campus. So if you are competitive, you would like it at our campus. Especially flag football and pickleball were like the two biggest things that we have. But we also have things like indoor basketball, indoor soccer, dodgeball. I'm a big soccer fan, so I really enjoy getting to watch the students play every once in a while. But it's low commitment. You go whenever you can to our rec center. Most of the campus is like sorted out into teams. You play against the other teams, and then the final winner wins kind of towards the end of the year. So it's really fun to see them play. We also have clubs. We have about 43 different clubs on campus, and this ranges anywhere from academic or hobby type. Our most popular academic is biology. I'm not a biology fan, but they go on really cool trips, which is why a lot of people are in that club. They went to Arizona to spend some time at a wildlife conservation. I believe last year in the spring, 2 years ago in the spring, sorry. Last year in the spring, they went to Iceland, which was really cool, especially because out of pocket, they only had to pay about $400, which if you think about the price of going to Europe, the ticket alone is probably going to be more than $400, but everything was paid for, the ticket, the hotel, the food. Out of pocket, it was only those $400 for them. And that is because they do a lot of fundraisers throughout the year, or because we have donors that donate to the club as well. So it's a really cool club to join. We also have different types of clubs, like we have accounting. If you guys are into like law, we have the law club that will kind of get together. They go on cool trips as well to like the Senate House. They've also been to a few different like judge proceedings. Kind of see that in person, so it's really cool for them to do that. There's a wide variety, like I said, about 43 different clubs in total, and you can get a full list in our activities office if you're wanting to join a specific club. Hobby type, I want to say my personal favorites are the pottery and photography club, but like I said, I believe bass fishing is the most popular one that we have for that. So. We are part of the NJCAA Athletics division, and that is Division 2, so not Division 1 exactly, but it's really fun. It gets very competitive. We do have some rivalries, so you know that it's really great whenever you're playing against your rival to kind of see if you'll win or not. Any of those, especially basketball, I'm talking about basketball because I'm a basketball fan as well, but we have about 13 different teams, men's and women's. We have basketball, we have baseball, volleyball, men's and women's cross country, men's and women's track and field. We have bowling team and then esports as well. Then we are getting a wrestling team this next coming year. So there's a lot of different games or matches for you to watch, and you can get into any of those with your Blazer One card, which is what we call your student ID, which is like the little ID thing that you get when you're a college student. And then campus life in general, we have an auditorium with about 3 different concerts throughout the year, and then about 2 different plays. So it's really cool for you to see that. We also have pop-ups where we get like food for the students, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, or our president loves to have his ice cream socials. So it's basically our president coming out with like a bunch of huge tubs of ice cream, and then everybody just kind of hangs out in the courtyard, and it's a really nice, like, even the employees go as well to get their ice cream, and you get to pick what condiments you want and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So all of that is there for you guys. Affordability, that is probably kind of the biggest question for some people, and usually if you guys do ever end up having any questions, the financial aid office is really good about answering those questions, but we do like to highlight these 4 different scholarships just because they're the most common ones, and no matter how many students we have coming, if they qualify for this, they will get that scholarship. So the first one is Val-Sal, so if you're first or second in your class. This one, presidential, is top 25% of your class. Blue and gold is top 50% of your class, and then academic and technical honors, if you have those 2 diplomas or one or the other, you will get that scholarship as well. So those are kind of our biggest ones, but I like to tell students that if they don't qualify for those, that is completely fine. Through our VU Foundation, most of our students end up having at least some form of financial aid or scholarship through them, and that can be anywhere from like a housing scholarship, book scholarship, any type of like meal plan thing. That is usually what our students are offered through that foundation as well. So I told them not to worry about that really. Then we have student services. So this is just kind of a few things that we have on campus for you guys. The Shake Learning Resource Center is our fancy name for our library. We like to call it the LRC affectionately, but you will find Starbucks inside as well as a Student Success Center. That is where you will go to get advised, so to figure out when classes are given, what time they're given, who teaches them, all that stuff, so you can make up your schedule. So the schedules for high school and college are going to be a bit different. I don't know if you guys have ever been to a college to kind of tour or anything, but during high school, you guys are going to have periods, right? I'm assuming like 7-ish. It starts at maybe, this is my high school, but we started at 8, ended at 3. I don't know if you guys are a bit different than that. But in college, it's a lot different. So you're going to have maybe a class from like 8, that'll end at 9:30, and then you're free for the afternoon or like that time. You might have another one that's from like 1 p.m. to 3:45 p.m. and then you're done for the day, right? That's usually how it works. Or you might have a night class, which is from 6:30 to 9:30, right? So they're longer, but you will only have that class like once a week. For me, like night classes are once a week, right? So you can fit your schedule to, I mean, there was a point in time where I only had classes Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then every other day of the week I was free. So that is something that you guys are able to do depending on when they're offered and when you want to graduate, all that kind of stuff, right? So you have the flexibility of moving your classes however you like. There was also a time where I was only having classes I had classes Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then I had Tuesdays and Thursdays free, and that would just work out better for me at the time. So there was also a time freshman year where I had classes 8 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, like throughout the week. So it just kind of depends on what is offered, right? You can also move your schedule so you have all your classes in the afternoon and you get to sleep in, or you can move your classes to the morning so that you can hang out with your friends all afternoon. It just kind of depends. We also have the Office of Diverse Abilities and Accommodations. That is there if you have any type of IEP or need an emotional support animal. We're actually very good with our emotional support animals. We had a student who needed his emotional support boa constrictor with him on campus. I don't know if you guys know what a boa constrictor is. It's a snake.
Yeah, it's a big snake.
It's a huge snake. So he was actually allowed to have that on campus in his dorm, and his roommate okayed it. So I would not have been very calm with a snake around my neck, but to each their own. But if you need anything like that, we are there to help you with it. If you guys ever end up going to Vincent University and you need an emotional support animal and it's a dog or like a really cute puppy or bunny, bring it over. But if it's like a scary spider or snake, don't do that to me, please. So, But I'm always welcome to say hi if you guys are ever on campus and decide to go to campus. We also offer free counseling and free tutoring. That is there for you. I believe any type of free assets you should use because it is there for you. And then Experience BU, Blazers Achieve are just 2 programs to not let students fall through the cracks. They're more meticulous. When you go to college, the responsibility falls on you at that point to get yourself to class, to get your homework turned in, to communicate with your professor. Whereas these 2 programs will do that for you a bit. They'll kind of help you with it. If they see that your grades are starting to fall, they'll contact you, contact the professor. They'll facilitate communication, say, how can we bring this back up? What can we do to help you? Can we make this up with extra credit? Stuff like that. Experience BU is for students who have have an IEP or have like, I don't know, ADHD, stuff like that, right? And then Blazers Achieve is for students who are first generation, so if your parents did not go to college, or if you are low income. Either or, you do not have to do both. They have to apply to get into them, and then I believe Blazers Achieve has an interview process, but they're really great programs to be in if you do need that type of help. Residence halls. So since we are a bit far from here, and if you guys ever did decide to go to Vincent's University, you'd probably be living in our dorms. So we have a few different options. We have apartments. So those you would not qualify for until your 2nd year because they are reserved for the upperclassmen. But there's 2, you get to decorate them however you would like. And you basically, get to have the apartment be however you would like it. And you have a bit more responsibility with cleaning the entire apartment, right? Then we also have our standard, well, no, I want to talk about Ebner. Ebner is reserved for the College of Technology, so if any of you guys are into welding, CNC machining, any type of like agribusiness or agriculture, anything like that, you are going to be in the College of Technology. The College of Technology has a dorm inside it, so it's only reserved for the College of Technology students. The reason for that is because, like I said, it's inside it, so you're in your room, you take the elevator down, go to class, take the elevator up, and you're back in your room. It's also got no windows. I wouldn't like it, but a lot of our guy students do like it because they get to play their video games at all hours of the night without having to worry about like the windows bringing the light in, So that is there if anyone would ever choose that. Then we also have standard dorms. So standard dorm to people to that room, or you can ask for your own private dorm, but it is a bit more cost-wise. And then you share the bathroom with everyone in the hall, which at most it would be anywhere from like maybe 20 to 22 people, maybe less than that if you've got people who want their own rooms, right? So, and then our most popular one by far is going to be Clark. Clark is suite style. So it's 2 rooms, 2 people to each room. Each room has its own bathroom, and then you have a little living room, kitchenette area that comes with a TV, a mini fridge, and a microwave. So that was the most popular one. It usually fills up the quickest, but they do give preferential treatment a little bit towards incoming freshmen. So does anybody have any questions about housing? Yeah?
How much for a month? How much the cost?
So it's not more monthly. You get charged for the bill, I want to say like each semester, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes, you can do payment plans if you're not able to pay that lump sum like at the beginning of the year, or scholarships are a good way to help bring that down. I do have a breakdown of the cost that's coming later on, so if you want to wait for that, that would probably answer your question a bit more, okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
So, curious to break down. Sorry, I forgot there was not another slide. So anyway, that is the breakdown. 12 credit hours is what you guys need to be at to receive financial aid or scholarships. That number, if you want the semester cost, split that in half. Usually you pay by semester, so about $3,000 something, $3,400 for the semester. Room and board is obviously going to be your biggest expense, but there are ways to bring that down. Scholarships, if you get an on-campus job, RA jobs are kind of the best ones in my opinion because they completely take care of your room and board, which by the way, your meal plan is also included in that price. So you don't have to pay room and board whatsoever. So so that saves you the most money. Books, that is generalized. They also include the COT students, so College of Technology, and those students usually have like pretty expensive tools that they need, especially like the machining students or any type of like agriculture students. They'll have specific tools, so that is in there, so do not really listen to that. I've been wanting to change that here, but there's ways to bring that down on top of that. If you want to buy your books online, you do not have to get them at our bookstore. You can rent them. You can find somebody who took the class before you. We've had parents Facebook Marketplace find them. And we also ask that you, or I would recommend that you wait for the first week of class. Sometimes the professor decides not to use the book that was on his syllabus, or he decides to use a different book, or he decides not to use a book at all, or he has the book and he just PDF scans it and sends it to you. So there's different kind of ways to get around that. Parking is starting for the year. So you get a parking pass with a sticker you put on your car and you're good. They give you a map so you know where you can and can't park, and there's also signs in every parking lot so you know where not to park. It's sectioned off for like students who live on campus, students who are commuting, and like faculty members, you know, and then you do have like the free parking where anybody can park in. And then the activity fee is a one-time fee of $152, and that's to offset the cost of all the activities that we put out throughout the year. So that is normally the part if you were on campus where you would go on a tour, but we're not doing a tour. So if you guys ever decide to come on a tour, on the back of the little folder I gave you are all the QR links, so you can find that. So does anybody have any questions? Yeah.
Is food good in the dorms?
So our dining hall is called TDC, or the Tecumseh Dining Center. I'll be honest with you guys, I like it, but I don't know what your standards are. I think it's really good. I really enjoy the hibachi bar. They usually have like home cooked sections, so they have like brand new food every day. Or if you like nothing, you're always going to find pizza and fries or hamburgers at the normal like bar. So there's different areas where you can pick what you want to eat. We have salad, soup bar, desserts bar is really good.
So better than high school food.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely did not like my high school food, so I would say so. We also have an ice cream bar machine station, so I'm an ice cream person, so I do enjoy it. I really like when people come visit, because then we get to eat there with them too, so it's really fun.
I went to Michigan State, the dorm food was really good. It was all you could eat. And we had like soft serve ice cream, so you could get a cone and
Yeah, we
soft serve cone
are.
on the way out.
We are also all you can eat, so if you scan your card to go eat, you can like literally fill up your plate if you really wanted to. So
With the card, do you get it like on the campus?
yeah, so your first year at bigger universities like Purdue, you're not allowed to have your car for your first year. You can have your car on campus, on our campus. Your first year, every year that you're on campus. You do not have to live on campus your first year with us either. If you want to live off of campus, rent like a room or an apartment from like the community Vincent's area or somewhere maybe like outer city if you want to, that's also an option for you if you want to do that. It's not required. Also on your little folder, I do want to mention the grant that I was talking about. Here are all the certificates, right? If you go to this side, you have the little key at the very bottom. It's the next level jobs symbol. If you find that next to any of our certificates, that'll tell you which one is covered and which one isn't. So that is there for you guys to check. And then you can kind of figure out if that would be something you'd be interested in. But it does pay for the tuition, and it's a good way to save money on top of our very burdened costs. So, any other questions? It doesn't have to be Vincent's University related. It could be like college questions.
What's your guys' cosmetology program like?
I think it's very hands-on. You do a lot of labs. Once you finish that degree, most of our students have an option of like just doing the cosmetology and going straight to work, or they minor in something like maybe business if they're wanting to start their own degree, which is the most popular one I've seen. We have a lot of our students who are wanting to start their own businesses, so they'll minor in like business, or communication as well is another one that I've seen. or you can double major. So like cosmetology, and then in business, so you have a business degree as well.
What's your guys' music preference?
Our music program is actually really good. They help a lot with like the concerts that we throw out every year. It's very also hands-on, and a lot of the professors are actually people who have been in the field before, so they do a really good job of preparing you for that sort of field. Any other questions?
I have one again.
Yeah. go for it.
Stetz University has a broadcasting class.
Yeah, we do. We have a broadcasting college. It's really good. I actually got to tour it a couple weeks ago. They do really good with like, we have a whole broadcasting setup. You're going to be like on live TV within the area in Vincent, so I think that's pretty cool. We did have a partnership with PBS, but unfortunately that was cut as of recently. So we do still do a really good job. We've got there's a lot within broadcasting. I mean, you've got radio, TV, podcasting, and they have setups for all of it. So I think it's really cool, especially I studied communications in college, and I got to do a lot of that. So I believe that Vincent's had a bit of a better setup than where I went to college, so I geeked out over it for sure. They're really hands-on. You do a lot of especially like your first year, you're kind of hitting the ground running, and there's a lot of different areas that you can learn from that degree you're building.
So I know you talked about making your own like private reward. How much would that cost?
I don't know the specifics on the cost, but I believe it's not more than like, I want to say, whatever the cost is for the dorm. I would say it can't be more than like 1,500-ish in that area, because I do remember us talking about it. I just can't remember the specific number. I just do know that it was not above 1,500. So that is like the best. But if you do actually are interested in knowing that, I can give you my card, and you can send me an email and I can get back to you on the price for that. So if you are interested in that, you can let me know towards that end. Any other questions?
Like I've said before with all of our guest speakers, we're not trying to push you toward anything. We're just trying to get you an idea of what's available to you guys. You're young and got your whole lives ahead of you, so you're very, very fortunate.
Well, if you could transfer to Vincent area, I'm not sure you can.
Well, thank you guys for having me and for listening to me. If you guys do have any other questions, you can let me know. You're welcome to ask for my card if you guys, and I can leave you one of my cards.
And I've got her contact info, so next month, if you have a question for her, let me know and I'll make sure to get it to her.
I want to have my own business, like how she said up there.
Did you want my card?
Yeah, I'll take it.